Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Okay, now let's get into this review. Hi, my name is LaShawn, and I'm going to be doing a review on The Hills New Beginning, Season 2, Episode 7. So we pick up exactly where we left off, where with Brody and Kristen. They are having a little picnic on the beach. They talk about, family and how her divorce is going and her kids. And she says how it was very hard on her in the beginning because she knew for 2 years already the marriage was going to end. So now she's just basically living her best life and she's happy. She talked about Brody and Audrina, and he's like, I've known Audrina for a long time where nothing really happened. Because Kristen asked him when they was walking to the beach, did y'all hook up? And he says, no, he didn't hook up with Audrina. But who knows? Only they know. And he talked about just how they would look. They'd be a cute couple if they do decide to date. But I think they're dating already, my personal opinion. But if you say you're not, you're not. We see it's a scene where Danny and Brandon are packing. Danny's basically helping Brandon pack because they're getting ready to go to the trip to Tahoe. And they show Audrina and her stylist getting ready to go on a trip. They show Justin and Brody talking about the trip and just saying, I hope everybody make it. I hope Spencer and Heidi comes. I invited everybody, and I hope we have a good time. I hope it's a good trip. They show a clip. They show Heidi and Spencer. They're packing. Heidi has so much clothes laid out. Her babysitter got into a car accident, and unfortunately couldn't watch their son, and she felt like that was a sign for her not to go. And she said to Spencer, hey, if anything makes me uncomfortable, we're packing up and we're getting out of there. We're leaving. Okay? And he agrees with her, as he always does. And, they decide to pack and go to the trip. Even though they've said that they felt very uncomfortable at the party and weird. The vibe was weird. The setting, the feeling between her and Ashley and everybody else seemed very uncomfortable to her. And like I said that too. Everybody made her feel uncomfortable. So she doesn't want to feel that way. She's gonna go because she was invited, and she don't want them to make a big deal about it, like they made a big deal about the party with Ashley and Jason. Everybody made a big deal just because they didn't go, but they don't want people to make a big deal about it, so they're just gonna go, even though they don't really want to go and they don't feel like going, and they have no babysitter. They're still gonna go and try to have a good time and try to make the best of it. So we see everybody arrives to Tahoe. Everybody's sitting by this fire, standing by the fire, having a conversation, talking, having a good old time. Caroline says that she feels starting to feel weird and uncomfortable around Caitlin, and she feel like, dang, should I have not said anything to Caitlin? Should I have not told her that I was interested in her, that I liked her? Because now it feels a little weird. Now it feels a little awkward. Ashley started talking about her father, and she's gonna go visit her father in Tahoe. Her father has a burial plot there. She talked about her father had a heart attack or a stroke, or was it a heart attack and a stroke, while he was like doing an activity. I'm not too sure. I think it was dirt biking or ATV riding with her sister. Her father had a really bad accident, had an accident while that while they was doing that activity, and he passed away. And she was talking about how she missed him and everything. Then we see Heidi and Spencer walk in. Heidi is a very loud, noticeable person. She's gonna be seen wherever she goes. So she walks in like, "Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Y'all ready to party? Have a good time?" And everybody's like, "Oh gosh, they're here." And she jokingly walked in and said, "Oh, what are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about me?" Because she just felt so uncomfortable when she walked in. You walking in somewhere, and everybody's looking at you, and they're like, "Oh gosh, they're here. Here she go. She here. Here she go." And she's feeling uncomfortable. So she like, "Are y'all talking about me?" Like, she was serious, but she was joking at the same time. So she's like, "What y'all doing? Are y'all talking about me?" And here go Ashley. No, we're not talking about you. Everything don't have to be about you. And in her confessional, she's like, everything don't have to be about Heidi. But throughout this whole season, it seemed like all you do was talk about Heidi, either to your confessional or to other people. So of course she's gonna get the sense everything basically about you, Ashley, everything is about Heidi and Spencer. Even later on in the scenes, she's talking about Heidi and Spencer. So you saying everything don't have to be about them, but you're making it about them because you're constantly talking about them. Get it? Okay. So, she was joking. I felt like she was joking and trying to break the ice and was like, "Hey, y'all talking about me?" But she also felt kind of uncomfortable. So they sit down for dinner. Brody gives a little speech. Heidi and everybody cheers to having a good time, having a good dinner, making the best of this trip, enjoying themselves, no conflict, no drama. So Heidi sat down and she was talking about, "Hey, did y'all go out after Kristen's party?" And everybody like, "Yeah, we went, we hit up another spot after that party was over and that little shindig was done. We went to another spot." And she was like, "Oh, really? Well, I wasn't gonna go, but I would have liked an invite." And I totally agree with her. Everybody was at the gathering. It was just close knit of friends. Why y'all didn't invite her if it's no drama? And she tried to clear the air with Ashley and everything. Still, more awkwardness. Alienating them. People, that what I noticed about the Hills. They alienate Heidi and Spencer all the time. Always. And then they become the most hated people on the whole the season. And they always just have to have each other and have each other's back. This is why they don't allow other friends to come in. And Ashley talks about Heidi and Spencer. They don't let them in, and they're always being fake to them. Of course, they're always gonna be fake. They're not gonna let y'all into their circle because y'all haven't proven yourself to them. They feel like they just have to just be there for each other and just Heidi and Spencer against the world because y'all make them feel like that. They do any little thing and it's over. Oh, they're so annoying, and oh, I don't want to deal with them anymore. And Heidi and Spencer is too much. They're over the top. It's just constant attacking Heidi and Spencer. I just don't understand why. So she was like, "I would have liked the invite," which would have been nice and polite for y'all to invite her out because y'all was going to another spot. Invite her out. I would have liked the invite, even though I wasn't going to go. But it would have been nice to have the invite. And then Heidi brings up, "Hey, I ran into Kristen, and she told me that you spent the night at Brody's house." And I think Spencer jumped in and he was like, "Was there any more kissing being done?" And everybody's at the table laughing and joking and having a good time, having their whole kikis about it because they know what's going on between Heidi. They know what's going on between Audrina and Brody because everybody sees it. They're in the same knit group of friends. And Audrina doesn't know how to keep a secret or keep her mouth closed at that. She tells everybody about Brody. Anybody who will listen, she talks about Brody. So, um, they're at the table. Caitlin, of course, looks very uncomfortable and she feels really stupid. She said, she knew about Audrina having long conversations with Brody, but she just chucked it up like, you know what, they've been friends before I've been here. So she never felt like it was nothing between them. They was just friends. But now she's really seeing, and even though that now she's becoming close with Audrina, she would have thought Brody or Audrina would have said something to her. But now she's just really seeing what's going on and how they probably had this ongoing thing from before, because she always felt like they were just a little too close. Um, so everybody's playing around. Brody puts up his glass, says, "Here's cheers to me and Audrina." And Caitlin, at this point, she's just like, I can't take it anymore. Let me say something to this girl. So she's like, Audrina, you want to go over here with me and let's grab a drink? So they walk to a little, just to have a seat somewhere else further on from the dinner table and everybody else. And she's talking to Audrina and basically telling Audrina, hey, how she feels. And it feels awkward and uncomfortable for her. And Audrina's just like, I just don't want to ruin me and Brody and don't want to ruin our friendship and this and that, and just making it all about Brody and her and Brody, and just dismisses Caitlin's feelings. Audrina dismisses her whole feelings. And I was just like, really? Are you serious? You don't care that you're messing around with your friend's husband, ex-husband, the person she was with for 6 years? Now, if Caitlin would go do a little Google search and find out who Audrina's ex-husband is and starts messing around with him and bringing him to dinners and gatherings, how would you feel, Audrina? How would you feel? Not too good, would you? Anyway, uh, we see the next scene, Jason and Ashley, they're in a bed. Ashley's like, you know what, Audrina's gonna go with me to visit my dad, and you go have fun. You deserve it. You've been clean. You've been putting in the work. You've been working. I just want you to go enjoy yourself. I can't ski because I'm pregnant, but you go have fun and enjoy yourself. Everybody hops in buses. Brody, Justin, Jason all hop in one bus. Then we see Audrina and Ashley. They're driving. They're on the road to go see her father. It's about an hour away from the resort or the hotels where they're at. We see Spencer, Heidi, their son. We see Frankie, his wife, and we see Caitlin and Caroline all hop in a different bus. Audrina and Ashley are in the car. They're talking about, Ashley's telling Audrina how different this pregnancy is, how less stressed she is. Jason is good. She's excited. She's less stressed about this pregnancy. Is better for her health wise and everything. And she talks about how much of a good friend Audrina is and how she's been there for her every step of the way, and she's always supported her and Jason's relationship, and she's been very supportive through this pregnancy, and she's just thankful for her. Then they start talking about Heidi and Spencer, and Audrina's trying to blame Heidi for the reason Caitlin was feeling uncomfortable at the party. Yes, Heidi brought it up. But y'all run in the same group of friends. It was gonna be brought up to Caitlyn regardless. She was gonna find out about it. One way or another, she was gonna find out. Somebody was gonna say something and it was gonna get back to her. And it was gonna even seem worse because it would look like you're being sneaky about it. My opinion, it would have seemed worse because it looked like you're sneaking about it. But yeah, Heidi brought it up. Yeah, why not put it out in the open? Oh, because it's something you wanted to sneak around and do. But yeah, she's trying to blame Heidi. And she's like, well, now that I processed it and I really understand why she's feeling comfortable. I didn't really process this last night. You didn't really process it, or you didn't care. You didn't care, Audrina. You did not care. It's not that you didn't process what Heidi was saying and what Caitlyn was saying about you and Brody. And now that y'all hooking up, and now that y'all more than friends, you processed it. You just did not care because you want to do what you want to do. Okay? And you want to keep running through these same people that you've been around and been friends with forever. So, you processed it. Even when you processed it when she was coming over to your house. And when you became better friends with Caitlyn, you should have processed it then because you and Brody were still flirting. So you should have processed it a long time ago. It shouldn't have took you so long and to sleep on it to process what you're doing is wrong. Okay? Process that. And she's trying to say, that's why she tried to watch what she say around Heidi and Spencer because she don't want them to go off. Whatever, Audrina. You know what? You're somewhat. I would not want to know you for not 2 minutes. Because after knowing Heidi and Spencer for 15 years, if this is how you act, and this is the kind of person you are, I would not want to know you personally for 15 minutes. Okay? Anyway, they show Spencer on the bus. And he's talking to Caitlyn. And, Caitlyn's like, so do you think that Brody and Audrina's hooking up? And he's like, yeah. Now, he's stating his opinion. He's like, heck yeah, I think they're hooking up. That's his opinion. From what he's seeing, I'm seeing a whole bunch of sneaky stuff going on with them. Audrina constantly telling me they're kissing. They're going on hikes. She's spending the night with him. They stayed up all night talking. They're hooking up. We're all grown here. Come on. We know what's going on. So Frankie says to Caitlyn, you know what? Maybe you should just ask him up front. Just ask him, hey, I don't care, but I just want to know, are y'all hooking up? Just give me that respect as being your ex-wife. Just let me know. Are y'all hooking up? So she says, yeah, I'll ask him. And again, Spencer stated his opinion. He didn't say for sure, oh, I know they're hooking up because Heidi told me this or Brody told me that. He said, I think. Caitlyn asked, do you think they're hooking up? And he said, yes, I think they're hooking up. So we see, then they show everybody's skiing. Everybody's having a good time. Then they show another clip. They show Audrina and Ashley reach to the burial plot. She goes, she talks to her father. She tells her father she and Jason are having a baby. It's a boy. She know the baby's going to look just like him, She's crying, talking to him. Audrina comes in and checks on her. And she also tells him that she's so sorry that she hasn't come to visit in a long time. But, she's been busy, whatever. Back at the skiing resort, we see Brody, we see Brandon, and no, we see Brody and Brandon. They're sitting down having a conversation, and Brandon asks Brody, "Do you feel like Caitlyn feels awkward about you and Audrina's situation?" And he says, "I really don't care." Brody doesn't care. He says that right after the divorce, not even 2 minutes later, Caitlyn was in a whole relationship with another female. So whatever she feel or however she feel, I don't give two ishs about it. Basically, that's what Brody said. So then we see at the ski resort, Caroline talked to Caitlyn. And Caroline is saying, she's like, you know what? I've been feeling a little weird around you. It's been a little weird lately. And is it because I said that I liked you? I was attracted to you? And Caitlin's like, no, I didn't know how to tell you that I've been seeing somebody. And I didn't want you to feel like, oh, I didn't want to talk to you, but I'm okay with talking to somebody else. And Caroline is, no, it's if you don't want to be with me that kind of way, that's fine. But I feel more hurt that you're telling other people about your relationship and me and you so close, or we was so close, and I feel like you should have came to me and talked to me about it. Then we see Brody, Justin, and Jason sitting at a table having a conversation. They're tired of skiing. And, Brody flat out asks Jason, what's going on between you and Spencer? Like, what is the deal? At dinner, y'all seemed distant. At Kristen's party, y'all seemed like y'all talked. But did y'all really talk? Because I went out to eat with him, and it seemed like y'all are not friends. So he's like, well, we had a conversation at Kristen's party, but he was very surface level. He just was like, you know what? That's going on between the girls. I'm just going to stay out of it. Basically, I'm going to support my wife, but I'm going to stay out of whatever's going on between these two women. That's girl drama, girl issues. So Brody then says, you know what? Jason's a big boy. I'm going to let him know what Spencer said about him. I don't think he's going to make a big deal out of it. So he tells Jason, Brody tells Jason that Spencer is saying that he's not sober and how fake he is. And he thinks he's still drinking even though he had that sobriety party. And he thinks he's still taking whatever he takes even though he had that sobriety party to celebrate his 1 year of being sober. And Jason got very upset and defensive, and he's like, do you know where I've been and where I had to crawl myself out of? Do you not know that Heidi and Spencer was there to witness how bad things got for me as far as alcohol and drugs or whatever the case is? So he got very upset. And which I agree. Spencer was totally wrong to assume this man is not sober. Spencer was just assuming because the last time he had spoken to Jason, Jason had fell off, or I don't know how you say it. Can somebody tell me? Fell off the wagon. He was sober for a certain amount of time, and then he became not sober again. He had a little slip up. But that didn't mean he dove right into exactly what he was doing before. So yeah, maybe he was trying to get to where he was at and then he slipped up. So Spencer assuming that this party and Jason not being completely sober is wrong, because we don't know what this man has been through. We don't know how hard it's been for him to get where he is today. And spreading rumors like that could ruin his reputation. You know, his reputation that he's trying to build back up after being on drugs and alcohol for so long. So I completely agree with Jason on this one. Spencer, you was wrong. You was wrong to make these kind of assumptions and to be going around. It's one thing to talk to Heidi about it, to tell, hey, Hyde, your wife, you having pillow talking, and you're like, hey, Hyde, yeah, I know they had that sobriety party and all, but you really think he's sober? Like, they probably talk about it, ha ha, kiki about it. He probably is sober, or whatever the case is. But it's another thing to go around telling Brody and then whoever else you're talking to about this and your thoughts and personal thoughts about this person's life and what he's doing. And for it to not be true at the end of the day and ruining him and whatever he's building. That's wrong. So then we see Ashley and Jason, and they sit down and they're having a talk. She talked about how she wished she was there at her father's burial plot, but she really wanted him to have fun. And he said, I wish I was there too. But do you know what I've learned today? Do you know that Heidi and Spencer are going around telling people that I'm not sober? Do you know that? And she loses her ish. And she's like, I cannot believe they would go around telling people that. I cannot believe them. They didn't even show up for you at the party. I cannot even believe that. I am so mad. I'm so hurt. I'm so pissed right now. She breaks down because she was there to pick her husband back up and pick the pieces back up when he was going through what he was going through. And she knows how hard he's worked and how hard they've worked as a team for this man to be clean and sober today. So yes, she is pissed, and I agree, totally agree with you, Ashley. Be pissed. Be pissed, and I see that they're going to confront Heidi and Spencer, because it was really wrong of Spencer to make these assumptions about Jason and to go around telling people these assumptions. It was really wrong, and I do not agree with that at all. Okay? When you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you wrong. Okay? Even though I know I don't like Ashley and she creates a lot of drama, but they were wrong starting these rumors about their family and making it seem like this man isn't sober. Wait till he slip up, and then if he would have slipped up, and Spencer would have been like, you know what? I knew it all along. They had that whole sobriety party, and look at him. He ain't sober. But that man is on the road to recovery. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's trying to take care of his family. He's trying to get back to where he was at. He's trying, okay? He is trying. So, Spencer, you was definitely wrong for that. And Ashley has a right to be pissed and a right to curse y'all out on the next show. Okay? On the next episode, she has the right to curse y'all out, because y'all are wrong for spreading those rumors about that man and his family when he's been working so hard and trying his best to stay on the straight and narrow. Okay? Anyways, that was about the end of it. Please join me next time for the next episode of The Hills, The New Beginning. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.